Good morning. Today we're going to do a video on how to make the little snowman poop Tic Tac covers. We have the little Tic Tacs, and we're going to cover those with a little cute little box. It's going to look something like this when we're done. So, to get started, go to www.whimsydoodles.com, and under the freebie section you can get these print sheets. And one of them will have the snowman poop on with the little snowman gasping, a little hand up to his mouth. And the other print sheet is the inside that explains what the snowman poop is. These just print off on regular paper. I print them off on cardstock because I like to color this part in. Yeah, there's 20 of these and 30 of these all on one sheet. So it's really great if you're making bulk items or want to make a bunch for family members. So what I'm going to start with is this sheet right here. I'm going through the laser printer, curls the paper. So what I started with is I stamped a little ring around. Find a little stamp circle that will fit this and just center it over and stamp. And just repeat this process. So you can do them in red and green and blue and brown, whatever color you like. You can just keep going though, so you can fill the whole page with these. So the next step is to color all of these images in. I'm not going to color them today, but I'm going to show you. It's pretty simple. Just color them whatever way you like. I colored the little hat and the scarf green on this one and red on the second one, and then I used the R20 Copic marker and just put a little dab of cheek blush in there. So next what I'm going to do is my punch won't reach quite that far. There's a large margin on either side so that these won't print off the page. So I'm just going to put it in my paper trimmer and cut it down some. And then take my punch, which is, I believe, 1.5 inch Marvy, and then I'm going to line it up and punch it out. It's simple as that. So now that I have my little stamped image, we'll put that off to the side. Then you take the sheet with the sentiments on it and you just cut those out as well. So just cut in between these lines and you'll end up with this size here. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is cover the little Tic Tac box. When I'm making something for the first time, I actually use the original object so for my measurements. And then I like to use little pieces of post-it note tape to mark off the areas that I scored so that when I make multiples I can just go and reference those little notches. So you want to start with a piece of cardstock that is 2.5 wide by 4.25. This is what will cover the little Tic Tac box. You can see it just kind of fits in there perfectly. And the first thing is we're going to want to make a little flap to fold over the front of the Tic Tac box. See that little flap there? So I'm going to line up this cardstock. And you want it flush against here so it's a nice and straight line. And you're going to use the Tic Tac box to actually tell you how wide you want to make this. You actually put it up to the measurements, you'll see that it's about 1/2 inch wide. So you put this up against there. Actually, it's more than that. It's 1/2 inch and whatever that little blue is. So the half and then this one. So I put it up against there and I move this here to that spot. And then score the paper. Then again, I'm going to put the Tic Tac box down and take my little post-it note marker. And mark the spot again. And this one again is at the 2 and that little blue notch. I think it's an 1/8. 2 7/8, maybe. And then I'm going to take it again. And finally, we have a measurement I can read. And that is the so then you just score it again and one more time. Then what you're going to want to do is, when you put the Tic Tac box down, it's on the end one, as you can see. It's going to wrap up and around and fold in front and fold down again. So what you're going to want to do there is I took some sticky tape, stick it on the very back of the Tic Tac box. Center it on the top and bottom. I always like to fold it. If I push it flush up against there, that's the perfect spot for it. So just push that down. So there's the little box. Now you do the same thing with decorative paper. You have all your measurements all laid out for you here. So you lay down the pattern paper and score the same lines again and cut it. Cut it slightly larger because you'll want it to overlap, so you have something to glue it to. The other thing you need to do is you take that little piece of paper that you cut out earlier, add some glue to it, and stick it right in here, and it will fit. If you use this box measurements, it'll fit right inside perfectly. Then okay, so you're going to take your pattern paper, and it's about 1.5 to 2 inches wide. And the first thing you're going to want to do is you want the fold to end up in the back of the paper. So you put this up there and somewhere in the back, so you're looking at about here for your first fold. So that will give you the center of the back. Then what you want to do is figure out how wide to make it. Again, I like to use the template here to give me an idea. And then flatten it out. And you need one more fold on. Okay, so the first fold is going to go in the center back. And then you wrap it around again, and again, and again. So you can see where it's going to overlap. So if I cut it, say, about here, so to be 4 3/4 wide. So make sure I have the front. Wrap it around the box. Put a little bit of glue on the end. And that's it. Now this will slide. Make sure you don't glue this because you want to be able to slide it off to get at the treats inside. You don't want to make it too difficult. So the next thing you want to do is take your little snowman image that you've colored and punched, or printed, colored, and punched out. Add a little glue to the back and position it on the box. And then I just took a piece of baker's twine and wrapped it around. With the twine, I can just tie it in a knot because it's thin or small stuff anyway, so it won't create a really bulky knot, and then it will stay in place for you. You don't have to worry about trying to hold it in place while you tie your bow. Then you tie your bow. And that's it.